Peace, peace, y'all. Welcome to today's mathematics with your girl, Sunshine Monet L. You already know it's 878. We in that space of double eights, building and destroying transformations, death and rebirth, and we love it here. We move in that space of empowerment. We are focusing on the fifth sphere of the tree of life and the nether roots. That's Hero Kahuti. That is the enforcement of what you want. 8 is the 8th sphere of Sebek. That deals with Mercury. That's the class. That is the classification of celestial technicians of labeling and separatism. According to Metuneta Volume 1, this is where man's ill lies. But it doesn't mean that it's not necessary. Just don't get stuck there. Keep moving, keep going, keep growing. But we need classification, Ashe. Enforce those things. So this is the energy of not only Scorpius, Oya energy of storms and transformation, but this is also the intellect of Mercury. Gang, gang. That's what we got on the 8s. So in between both of those 8s, we have the energy of 7. 7 is the Libra scales. This is balance. This is making sure what's going on inside of your heart is being reflected outside of your heart, and not what's going on outside of your heart being reflected inside your heart. Because I don't like to be in bonds and contracts that's not true to my inside heart. You know what I'm saying? You ever signed a contract and your inside was like, nah, don't do it. And then after a while, your inside is like, bitch, I told you so. Like, don't do that. We don't like that. Listen to your heart. Okay, and let your heart be reflected on your outside realms. And if you don't like your outside realms, then you need to start enforcing that heart says 8. Okay, and start invoking some things says 8. Okay, and enforce where you are in Mayat so that your surroundings can be in alignment says 8. Okay, so we take that 7, that number of God, that number of the Libra scales, dealing with your interpersonal relationships, the balance and harmony of the things that you create in your space, right? We're going to put it into that 8 because we need transformation. We need enforcement of what that heart needs in those different, spaces on those Oba scales, right? So we take that 7 and 8 and that comes together, makes 1 and 5. So now we have knowledge and walking in the power of our truth. With that said knowledge, 1 also deals with Aries energy. This is the cardinal energy. The gut controls the mind. Aries is the gut. Mars is the gut. It's controlling the mind. Everything starts with the thought before we start manipulating things with the 8, right? Before we start invoking things with the 8, before we do anything, we get the thought first, right? You got to think it first. Some type of something back there. That's why I love psychology, because I'd be like, what the fuck made you think that was okay to do? I have that question for everything. What made you think that was okay to say? Where's your mind at? You know what I'm saying? That's what I love to delve into, the mindset behind a lot of the people, places, things, situations, bonds, and contracts and shit that we be getting into. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we walk in the power of the truth with our thoughts, right? 5 deals with that decision-making energy. It can be indecisive and unfocused because 5 not only deals with the temperament of Leo ruling the 5th house. That's the inner child that can be a little unfocused, a little everywhere, very opinionated, but can't take direction. But a 5 can also deal with that Gemini energy of being adventurous and curious. But the goal there is to be grounded. You have to learn how to make decisions. You have to learn how to have some sense of stability. Yeah, it's cool to be adaptable, right? It's cool to be flexible, but if you don't have a sense of stability, like, you're really doing yourself a disservice. Do a little better. Okay, so that 1 and 5 come together and make 6. When we're dealing with 6, we're dealing with our daily routine, our health and our wellness, our moral and integral code, your rituals, your habits. We're dealing with that throat chakra again, as Mercury rules over the 6th house. This is the messenger between the physical and the non-physical. Ashe. We're dealing with all that energy. So as you walk into the power of your truth with the knowledge that you have, and then 1 being that action wand, and 5 can also be that heart on fire, but it can also be that thought in the air. As you're dealing with that 1 and 5 come together, make 6, which is that harvest energy, where we're creating, you know what I'm saying? For me and you, because that's 2 3s, not just 1, all right? And an outward creation. So we come into that 6, and we're going to bring that, all that we get from that, into the year of 8. This is the year of the wood dragon. High highs make low lows. The goal is to be the homeostasis in the middle. And the way Pluto is Plutoing up there in Capricorn, Aquarius energy, it's a lot of transformation, death, and rebirth happening in our root chakra, which is the challenges that we have experienced that help us create the discipline, the order, and the boundaries that we now have in our space. So we're going to take that 6 of our daily routine, put it in that space of transformation, our solar plexus chakra, and enforce that sense of equality that we want in our space. And we come up with 1 and 4. Now we have that cardinal energy, that thought, that meticulous trigger and ambition and motivation of that 1, that Mars, that Aries, that knowledge. And we're putting it next to a 4, which manifestation. So whatever you put your action towards is what you're going to create. It's what you're creating. 4 is like, it's the square. Everything is built on the square and is stable. We love it here, right? We even built the pyramids on the square. you know, now we have certain things that are based in hexagrams and pentagrams and stuff. We can get into that later, but 4 is where it starts, right? We like it when the base is 4. 4 is my favorite number. But 4 also deals with the Cancer energy that's going back into the womb. 4 also deals with because, you know, the 4th house is ruled by Cancer, that's the moon, and the goal is to be like stable with the moon, because even though the moon is always moving and always switching and always conjuncting certain stars and changing, waxing and waning and full and quarters and all that stuff, it still has a sense of stability. It still has that stable routine, you know. It's everywhere, but it's somewhere at the same time, you know what I'm saying? So that's what that, right? It's still something to build upon, right? 4 also can be associated with Taurus energy, which is that fixed earth energy. There's no energy that's stronger than the Taurus fixed earth. I'm telling you. Name a fixed earth energy. First of all, name an element that's stronger than the earth. And then name a modality that's stronger than the fixed. I'll wait. Yeah, that's how strong we need your foundation to be, because ultimately today is a day of 5. Today is a day of walking in the power of your truth, following your Tippereth, your heart chakra, that heart that be on fire, following that Gemini energy of adventurous curiosity, your communication, community. And the keys to that 5 is stability, being somewhere and nowhere at the same time, being everywhere and then stable in a one-where at the same time. That's what we like with the 5. We walk in the power of our truth with our 5. We stand 10 toes down and what our truth is, and it's okay if your truth does a little tweaking, editing, or whatever, as long as you're walking in the power of it. And we love it here on this day of 5. So let's talk about what is astrologically happening. We start the day off with a 7% waxing crescent moon rising at 8:56 a.m. and setting at 9:44 p.m. We are in Virgo again, that 6 energy that we was coming across, that health, wellness, and daily routine, that self-organization, being of service, but also being served, because we like both, right? And then we are in Leo, that 5, that Tippereth, that heart on fire. We're in the 5th house. The 5th house is being ruled by Virgo. So again, finding that stability, that harvest, that earth energy that's also adaptable, because Virgo is an adaptable earth energy. It's not the strongest, but it does adapt. So finding that flexible, adaptable earth groundedness to that Tippereth fire is key here. So we know what you like, we know what you want. Now, how are you harvesting it? How are you materializing it? How are you standing 10 toes down in it? And if you can't do that and you don't feel like you can do that, then maybe you're not as confident in that truth that you think you are, and maybe you need to work on that. Why aren't you that confident in your truth to where you're willing to harvest it into your space? What's going on over there? You good, baby? Sunrise at 6:04 a.m. and setting at 8:05 p.m. This is the best visibility of the earth shine on the moon just after dusk. You're going to have a little blue full moon looking thing situation happen, if you can see it. Because if you over here with me where it's storming and clouding and stuff, good luck with it. But yeah, wherever you have is clear skies, you're definitely going to see that little full moon orb looking thing. It's pretty quiet in the cosmos today. You know, we're still dealing with some of the transits that we've had experienced, the conjunctions that we have experienced, the conjunctions and transits we're about to experience. We're going a little funky as we enter the eclipse season. And if you would like a reading, I am doing retrograde readings, I am doing eclipse readings, I am doing the Akkat season readings, which is from June to September. This is the season of the flooding. I am doing moon cycle readings if you want to know how the moon is invoking your Sephiros from August 4th to September 2nd. I am here for you. And if you still want to come to me for our Sephiro chakra readings, not only do I do one-time readings that give you a nice little PowerPoint for you to look over, I also do ongoing clarity therapy sessions where we focus on one Sephiro each session, and you get a clear understanding of the different facets of each of your Sephiro, whether it's tropical, Vedic, or draconic, and the natal and progressive. I'm here for you, and I love what I do, and I love who I do it for. Peace, y'all.